EDU187, welcome to Module 4. We're continuing to dig in and explore the growth and development of the learners that we find in the classroom. This week, we're specifically looking at these learners through the lens of the educator and dialing in specifically on the school-age child and what is happening in their growth and development specifically when they're sitting in front of us in those seats. As we work through this module, I want you to remember that a school-age child is typically defined as a 5 to 12-year-old, and that this is a really critical time in development for all sorts of different elements, whether it is their physical growth or their cognitive thinking skills or social behavior or their emotional regulation. A lot of different things are developing all at once, and we are working through those stages rapidly. As teachers, it is so important that we understand development across these multiple domains. Remember, there's no cookie cutting of these stages, and there is no one perfect way to walk through development. We need to strive to understand each child's learning journey in each of the 4 domains and meet them right where they're at in our support as we guide them forward in their development and growth in the classroom. And that's a really big challenge, but that is indeed what the goal of our job as teachers in the classroom must be. Now, let's think about what we're going to do and how we're going to do it as we strive to understand where students are at developmentally. There's not just one special test or tool that we can use that tells us where they're at in some of these patterns and developmental stages, right? So to figure out where they're at and to meet them and respond with appropriate instruction and scaffolded support, one of the most powerful things that we can do is simply to observe. This is one of the most powerful assessment tools that you have in your toolbox. Teachers don't just teach, they also need to watch and notice and collect information, data over time. This is informal data, but it is formative. It is helping us to better understand where a student is going in their journey. As we'll learn this week, one simple but very effective way to observe in your classroom and collect the data that we need to document a student's growth and development is through anecdotal notes. We are going to practice taking some of these records and thinking about what is important to capture. Remember that anecdotal notes don't have to be complicated. They're just brief, really intentional notes about what we see, what we think, and some wonderings that we might also observe. And we're going to note things about how the student interacts with peers and adults, how they approach a task, how their behaviors change depending on the scenarios. And together, these small observations can really give us a snapshot about some of the child's growth and development and really insights into where they are breaking down in their progressions forward. I hope that as you move through this model, you will think like an observer and you will gain some real soft skills that you can take back with you into the classroom as you begin teaching. Pay attention to how development shows up in real classrooms and in the world around you as you interact with students. And remember that understanding this kind of development is going to really help you to be more responsive, more supportive, and more effective at reaching all learners in your classroom. I'm excited to see what you think about this module and the learning that you gain. If you have any needs or ways that I can better support you, please don't hesitate to reach out. Have a wonderful learning week, everyone.